In the quiet hum of a small-town grocery store, under the soft glow of fluorescent lights, a man named James Thompson stood in line at the checkout. He was the CFO of a mid-sized tech company in the city, but here in Willow Creek, he was just another shopper with a cart full of frozen dinners and a bottle of whiskey. It was a Friday evening in late autumn, the kind where the air outside carried the crisp scent of fallen leaves and distant rain. James adjusted his tie, loosened after a long day, and glanced ahead. That's when he saw here a young woman with tired eyes, cradling a baby in one arm while fumbling with her wallet in the other. She was returning a can of baby formula, her voice barely above a whisper as she explained to the cashier. I can't afford it right now. Please, just the refund." The baby fussed softly, tiny fists waving in the air. James felt a pain in his chest, sharp and unexpected. He didn't know her name yet, but in that moment, her struggle pierced through his own isolation like a ray of light through fog. James had always been a numbers man. At 45, he lived in a spacious apartment overlooking the city skyline, filled with sleek furniture and echoing silence. His days were spreadsheets and board meetings, his nights solitary walks or staring at the TV screen without really watching. Divorced 5 years ago, no kids, no close family left after his parents passed. Loneliness had become his shadow, quiet but constant. He drove to Willow Creek every few weeks to escape the urban rush, stocking up on essentials in this quaint store where people still smiled as strangers. The woman Emily Carter, as he would later learn, was 28, a single mom fighting to keep her head above water. Her baby, little Mia, was just 6 months old, with chubby cheeks and wide, curious eyes. Emily worked 2 jobs, mornings at a diner, evenings as a cashier at a gas station. Her ex had left when she was pregnant, vanishing without a trace or a dime. Rent was due, bills piled up, and now, the formula Mia needed was a luxury she couldn't wing. Returning it meant mixing cheaper alternatives, hoping it wouldn't upset the baby's tummy. Emily's hands trembled as she handed over the can, her ponytail disheveled, her coat threadbare against the chill seeping in from the doors. James watched, his heart twisting. He remembered his own childhood in a modest home, where his mom stretched every dollar. But he'd climbed out, built a fortress of success. What good was it, though, if it left him alone? The line moved slowly, giving him time to think. The cashier scanned the return, the beep echoing softly. Emily pocketed the few dollars, her shoulders slumping as she turned to leave, Mia whimpering against her chest. Something stirred in James. He couldn't just stand there. As the cashier rang up his items, he cleared his throat. "Excuse me," he said, his voice steady but kind. "That woman who just left, could you add a couple of those formula cans to my bill? And maybe some diapers, size 1. The cashier raised an eyebrow but nodded. No questions asked in this small town. Outside, the parking lot was dimly lit, cars sparse under the street lamps. James spotted Emily buckling Mia into a worn car seat in an old sedan, its paint faded. He approached slowly, bags in hand, not wanting to startle her. "Ma'am, I saw what happened in there. I hope you don't mind, but I got these for you." He held out the bags, the formula peeking from the top. Emily froze, her eyes widening. "What? No, I can't. I don't even know you." Her voice was wary, protective, as she glanced at Mia. "I'm James," he said gently, keeping his distance. "Just someone who remembers hard times. Please, take it." No strings. She hesitated, tears welling up. The wind rustled leaves across the asphalt, a natural pause in the moment. Finally, she nodded, whispering, "Thank you." As she drove away, James felt a warmth he hadn't known in years. But that was just the beginning. The next day, James couldn't shake the encounter. He sat in his office, staring at financial reports, but his mind wandered to Emily and Mia. What if that refund was all she had for the week? He pulled up his laptop, searching local resources. Willow Creek had a food bank, but it was underfunded. As CFO, he dealt with budgets daily. Why not apply that here? He drove back to town that evening, the sunset painting the sky in soft oranges and pinks. At the diner where Emily worked, he'd overheard her mention it to the cashier. He parked and went in. The place smelled of coffee and fresh pies, booths half empty. Emily was behind the counter, wiping it down, her apron stained from the shift. "Hi again," James said, sliding onto a stool. "Coffee, please." Black. She recognized him, a small smile breaking through her fatigue. "You. From last night, James, right?" They talked as she poured. Simple things at first, as the weather, Mia's latest milestone of rolling over. Then, deeper, Emily shared how she lost her apartment last month, now crashing with a friend, scraping by. James listened, really listened, without judgment. "I know it's not my place," he said after a pause, "but if you need help with resumes or job apps, I could look them over. I see a lot in my line of work." Emily chuckled softly. "What do you do, anyway?" "Knight in shining armor, CFO," he replied. "Numbers and strategy." "Boring stuff." Over the next weeks, their paths crossed more. James became a regular at the diner, always tipping generously. He helped Emily update her resume, pointing out skills she undervalued like multitasking under pressure. "You're raising a kid alone," he said one evening, as rain pattered against the windows. "That's CEO-level management." Tension built slowly, like clouds gathering before a storm. James wrestled with his growing involvement. Was he overstepping? His ex had accused him of being too detached now. He feared being too much. And Emily? Trust didn't come easy after her past. One night, after a tough shift, she confided, "I appreciate this, James, but why me? You don't owe us anything." He stared into his coffee, the steam rising gently. "Truth is, I'm lonely. Work's all I have. Seeing you fight for Mia, it reminds me life's about more than balance sheets." Their bond deepened. James started volunteering at the local food bank, using his expertise to streamline donations. He anonymously funded a shipment of formula, watching from afar as families like Emily's benefited. But the real change came one crisp morning. Emily called him. Her car had broken down, transmission shot, no way to get to work, and repairs would cost hundreds she didn't have. Mia was teething, fussy and feverish. James drove over without hesitation, finding them at her friend's modest house on the edge of town. The yard was overgrown, but inside, it was warm, toys scattered like colorful confetti. "Let me help," he said, rolling up his sleeves, while a mechanic friend he called fixed the car pro bono. James held Mia, rocking her gently. The baby cooed, grabbing his finger, and something cracked open in him, a flood of emotion he buried deep. That afternoon, as the sun filtered through lace curtains, Emily watched him with Mia. "You're good with her?" she said softly. James looked up, eyes misty. "Never thought I'd get the chance." The twist unfolded quietly, without fanfare. James didn't just fix the car, he offered Emily a job at his company as an administrative assistant, entry-level but with benefits, including childcare support. "It's not charity," he insisted over pie at the diner later. "You earned it. Your resume's solid, and I pulled no strings beyond the interview." Emily's eyes sparkled with hope, but doubt lingered. "What if I mess up?" "I'm not corporate." "You won't," he assured her. "And if you do, we fix it." "That's life," she accepted. Starting the following week, the commute was doable, and for the first time, she could afford formula without worry. Mia thrived, her giggles filling Emily's days. James, meanwhile, found purpose beyond profits. He mentored Emily, watching her confidence bloom. Lunches together turned into friendship, then something warmer, shared laughs, lingering glances. Months passed, seasons shifting from winter's hush to spring's gentle bloom. James's apartment felt less empty. He hosted Emily and Mia for dinners, the sound of a child's play echoing off the walls. He wasn't lonely anymore, he had a family, unconventional but real. One evening, as they walked in the park, cherry blossoms drifting like snow, Emily stopped. "James, what you did that night, it changed everything. Not just for me and Mia, but for you too." He nodded, taking her hand. "Best decision I ever made. Numbers can't measure that." The story ends here, but the lesson lingers. In a world of isolation, one act of kindness can rewrite lives. If you're feeling alone or see someone struggling, reach out. It might just change everything.